1, 2, 3, and... What's up, YouTube? Man, I just want to thank y'all so much again for tuning in to Walking with the Wheelie Youngs.
Hey.
Thank y'all. Yeah, that bun is big today.
I don't know what it's doing. It's because I got these two strings.
Oh, okay. It look good, though.
I know, thank you. You know, usually when we do these videos, my hair be looking like...
Look here.
I know people probably like, she just never put together.
Look here, man.
Because I'm in my house.
Shoot, and you married to me. Shoot, I don't care what they're talking about. But anyway, we just kid with y'all. All right, so if y'all have been following us on social media, and if you looked at our last video where we were talking about our goals, which we will put up here in the corner, one of those corners.
I think it goes in this one, but you know the camera be turning around.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. But if you go back and look at our last video, you will see that we kind of went through our goals for 2021, and one of the things that we kind of went through was we talked about how about 3 weeks ago we went ahead and purchased our first investment property. We started to rehab on it, and one of the things that we talked about on our social media is that we literally bought this using somebody else's money. And so I think it's something that needs to be taught to people so that people can really understand. And so this is going to be just a kind of a short video.
And so that you know you can do it.
Yeah, and so that you know that you can do it.
I mean, like, I feel like people, especially like young people of color, may not feel like they can do it. Like I don't have the money for it. I'm not in a place in investment property. And you can. We're just a regular road.
Yeah, it's definitely doable, right? It's definitely doable. It's something that I wasn't too sure was going to happen for us, but I just wanted to keep pushing forward. Luckily, I met a mentor that has really been guiding me.
Shout out to Steven.
Steven Akindana. I joined his brokerage just because he was such a great guy. He wanted to teach young men and women like myself to get investment properties and things like that. So shout outs to Steven Akindana. But a lot of people are asking, like, how did you all purchase this property and not use any of your own money? Mm-hmm. And so what we did was something that is called the Bur Method. Okay, the Bur Method stands for buy, rehab, refinance.
Oh,
you can switch them around. Rent, refinance. You buy, rehab, rent, buy, rehab, rent, refinance. You got it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you buy your property. Okay. So the way that we bought this property was that there was a neighbor across the street. One of the things that I do, I tell people all the time.
Y'all, all the time. We were just at a restaurant. He was complimenting this man's suit jacket. And it was like, trying to be slick, handed him the card and said, yeah, man, if you remember where you got the suit jacket from, text me. Here's my card. You want that man to know he was a real estate agent.
Man, look here. You want everybody to know that you are a real estate agent. Or if you're not a real estate agent, that you are looking to invest. Okay? I don't care, because we didn't have any properties and I still said that we were investors, because that's what our goal was. You speak to your future, right? So the thing is Jesus. You got to speak to your future. Your words are very powerful. You got to speak to your future.
Listen, because this man said,
man, look here.
If you saw the goal board,
go back to our first video.
Go
back to our first goal board video. Yeah. I told her, I said, and we're going to get another one. Our goal is to get 2 properties. By the end of the year, we're going to get another one.
When people say, like, speak things into existence, this man will say something and it will manifest.
Yeah.
I just got to a point where I'm like, okay, if he says it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
There you go. I appreciate that.
He said we're going to be a millionaire. I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, we're going to be millionaires.
He said he's not equipment working by the time I'm 40. I got 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, I told you. It's going to happen too.
But I'm just here. I don't really have anything to contribute to this.
Yes, you do. You have everything to contribute to this relationship. And
I said the video.
The video? You talking about this video? Okay, my bad. I was confused. I was like, what are you talking about? But anyway, so the buying portion, you really just want to find you a property that you can buy kind of like undervalued, right? And a lot of times it's really trying to find those sellers that are motivated, right? You have a lot of people out here who got houses passed down to them from their parents that may have passed away. You have people out here who are already landlords and they're just tired of renting it out, right? And you have people who sellers out here who house needs a lot of rehab, and they just don't have the money to do it. They don't want the house maybe to go into foreclosure. Maybe there's a divorce going on. There's a lot of different things that can motivate somebody to want to sell their house quick and easy, right? And so our neighbor across the street, Ralph, he let us know that there was somebody that he knew that wanted to sell their house. So we went ahead, we sold the house. We went ahead and we bought the house cash, right? And so we bought the house for $80,000. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, where did we get $80,000 from?
Because we ain't gotta just sit.
We ain't gotta just sitting around, right? And so you need to find private lenders. Okay, you need to find private lenders / hard money lenders. Okay, normally these are just regular people who have money or lines of credit that they're not using. And so what they're going to do is they're going to charge you a fee in order to borrow that money. Now, it can be pretty expensive, right? So let's just say you borrow $100,000 and you may owe that person $6,000 to $8,000 for borrowing that money. But I'll tell you how this worked out for us. So what you want to do is you want to find you a house that you can purchase undervalued. And when you're refinancing the house, you know that the bank is going to give you 75% of whatever it's worth, right? And so if we bought the house for $180, okay, we need to buy the house, and we're going to be doing about $25,000 in rehab.
You
right?
said we bought the house for $180. We bought it for $80.
My bad. We bought the house for $80. We're gonna be doing a rehab on the house of about $20,000 to $25,000 plus the fees. We're gonna be all in at about $110. Okay. So we borrowed that from the private lender, the $110. Now, if you look at the house, if you see the house, you run the numbers, you just need everything to be under that 75% of whatever the value is. So for every $100,000 is $75,000 that you can get from the bank. Now, obviously, they're not just going to give you that money. You need to be approved for that, okay? Mm-hmm. Which means that you need to have the
That's
income.
Your first step. Yeah. Go to a bank, get pre-approved.
Yeah. You need to go to a bank, but also, too, you need to go to a bank that can do delayed financing.
Yeah.
Okay, delayed financing, which means you don't want to wait the 6 months in order to refi and get the money out of the deal. You kind of want to leave. You kind of want to be able to refinance the house and enroll your rehab in there. Okay, so what we did was that we got everything for about $110, and then we looked to see what the value of the house was before we even purchased the property. So you want to check to see what the value of that property is. We were able to get a desk appraisal from a licensed appraiser, and he said if you were to renovate this property to the standard of what was selling over there, he said that the house should be valued at about $225. Not in its current condition, it would not be worth that.
Right.
But if we put the necessary funds into it, we can bring the value up to that $225. Now, if that's the case, 75% of $225 is $185, I believe. And so, with that being $185, we need to keep our purchase and our rehab under $185, right? So, everything, remember, we did everything, we're doing everything for $110. So, what we're going to do next is that once we're about done with the renovations, right, we go through, we walk, we come up with our scope of work. Our scope of work is what we want to do to the home. We go ahead, we come up with our scope of work, we find contractors that will be able to do the job for the budget that we put on the job. That is going to be something that you're going to have to do your work. A lot of times you can go to these investor groups and things like that, and you can probably find contractors.
What's that website? Is that a secret?
No, it's not a website that we use.
Bigger Pockets?
Oh, bigger pockets. Yeah, bigger pockets is where it's like a community of investors that can give you like tips and things like that. But I'm talking to find licensed contractors. I mean, you can be just driving around and you'll see a sign on somebody's side of their van or whatever, and just call them and kind of vet them and see what kind of work do they do. Make sure you see pictures. Ask for a business card and things like that, just to make sure that they're legit. And then, like, when you're starting your rehab, we break ours down in 25% payments. So we're not giving all of our money to that one person. So we give them 25% of whatever they quoted us. We write a check for that first. Then once they get to 50% completion, then we write the next 25% check. And we keep doing that until the end. That way you still have money in case that person, let's just say a contractor, just decides to walk away, or you have to fire that person. You want to make sure that the money that's in your account, you can still hire somebody to do the rest of that work. Okay, and so we do walk the property a couple days a week just to make sure the progress is still going in the direction that we need it to. But once it gets to that about 1 week away from being finished, and it's clean enough for us to be able to go in and take pictures and things like that. We go in, take pictures, then we're going to put it on the market. You can figure out what the market rent is for that area by going to Zillow.com/rent. Zillow has like a little section where you can actually type in your address and they will tell you what the market rent is for, like is running for in your area. And for this particular property, the rent is $11.50. So we're going to be putting a mortgage on this house for $110. Once we put the mortgage on the house for $110, I mean, we'll probably be looking at about a payment of maybe between $5 and maybe $6.50. But our rent, we're going to make that cash flow spread, right? And so that's what you're looking at. That cash flow spread as far as $11.50 minus the mortgage, right? That's what comes back to you. Now, obviously, you don't want to take all of that money. You want to make sure that you're putting that money into a separate account in case something happens, right? You can use that money in order to fix the property. But what we do is we kind of go in. If the HVAC system is old, we replace that. If the water tank is old, we replace that. If the roof is old, we replace that. Any major systems that has anything going wrong with it, we replace all of that stuff so that we don't have to do any rehabs or fix anything for about 3 years, right? And so that's what we kind of average in.
So a question that somebody might have, okay, you say you find a private lender. When do they get paid back?
Right, so I'm getting to that.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you once you got all your renovations and stuff done, then you're going to start the refinancing process. Now, the refinancing process is just like if you were to buy a home, right? So they are going to get an appraisal on a house to make sure that it is that the value is going to come in or whatever is going to come in. So let's just say, for example, the guy goes into our house and he says, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah, this house is great, has great renovations. All right, we're going to give this a 225 appraisal." Right? So the bank is going to say, "Okay, it appraised for 225, but we're going to give you 75% of that." So then they're going to give us the 185, and then we're going to say, "Okay, cool." Remember, they're refinancing the house, and so they're going to be buying the money. They're going to be buying the house or putting a mortgage on the house from the person that we borrowed from, right? So on our file, it says that we borrowed from a particular person, and we borrowed this much from them. The 110, right? So the purchase and the rehab is in that. The bank is going to see that, and they're going to write a check directly to this person, and then they're going to put a mortgage on this house, and our private lender is going to get paid, and they're going to do whatever they need to do with their money as far as they'll pay off a line of credit, deposit their money into their account, and we can go back to them and go get another loan if we need to, right? And so with that, they got paid back. They put a mortgage on our house. We now start paying a mortgage, but look at this. We never spent a dime out of our pocket.
That's the part that I like. That's the part that I was most worried about.
Yeah. So we never spent a dime out of our pocket. Now, sometimes you do have to have it rented out depending on what your debt to income ratio is, with as far as like what you have coming in versus what you have going out. And so in order to refinance it, they may say that you need to have somebody in there. In that case, you just need to hurry up, get somebody in there, and then refinance it as soon as you get a person in there. But
do people use this method to just flip it?
No. So,
okay.
Well, you could.
Because I know that's a big thing, flipping houses. So for anybody that might say, well, can I do this same method to flip it?
Yes, actually, you can use the same method to flip a house.
So it'll be birth.
Yes, it'd be birth. Yes, it'd be birth. Because you wouldn't refinance it, you would just be flipping the house, and then once you sold the house, then you would then pay back the private lender, and then you would take the proceeds from that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you could do it that way, but
you wouldn't have to go through the refinancing.
You wouldn't have to go through the refinancing part of it. But again, you just need to find a house at a low enough price so that you can do the renovations, and then you can make that cash flow gap.
And then also people might be wondering, okay, like, do I have to wait a year for this whole process to happen?
No.
How long has it taken?
So we bought our house.
Man, this happened quick.
Yes.
Think about, like, just briefly say from the time Ralph told you about the house to, like, us signing the papers.
Yeah, so my neighbor told us about the house. I reached out to the guy. We had him sign a contract that Friday. 10 days from that Friday, we went ahead and closed. And then we went out of town. We had to wait for the check to clear in our account. And that took about 10 days. And right after that, we started renovations on that Monday. And so we're a week in now. Our rehab should take about 2 to 4 weeks because of the size of the crew. It should only take about 2 to 4 weeks. By that time, we should be able to go ahead and start marketing for the property, getting someone in there, and then we start the cash flow. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to start the refinancing process a little bit before the renovations are complete. We want to kind of get everything up to the point of where it's time to get an appraiser out there. So we submitted all of our documents and everything like that. And so now we're at a point where we're just waiting on the rehab to get done, so then we can get the appraiser out there. And once we get that appraiser out there, we get that appraisal that we need, then boom, we just go ahead and.
Now, what if somebody is concerned because they're like, well, I don't have any credit or I don't have good credit?
Yeah, so you do need to have credit in order to do this on the refinancing part, right? Yeah. As far as borrowing from a private lender, they really just need to trust that you're able to pay the money back. So this is where you may want to maybe get with someone who has already done that. And you're probably asking, where can I find these people? You can find these people if you go to meetup.com. You can actually go there. You may have an investor group that meets up every Monday or Thursday morning or something like that. You can go there, meet people, and they may be willing to help you. And so that will be a great place to go to kind of get information, learn about investing, and things like that. So, wholesalers, they meet up in certain places, and some of them have experience in doing this method. And so they may have people that you can kind of go to, and things like that. But,
and if you have a quick question that somebody else may have, put it in the comment section and we can.
I can definitely answer that for you. Yeah. But that's pretty much how the Bur strategy goes, right? You just buy it, rehab it. You can rent it out or refinance it depending on your DTI, but with your
DTI,
debt to income ratio. And once you refinance it, then boom, you go ahead and move on to your next deal.
And what's your ultimate goal with getting these investment properties?
Yeah, my ultimate goal as far as investment properties.
I guess you say our.
Yeah, our goal as far as getting investment properties, I think I'll be good at 100, right? My goal is to get to 100. Now, am I going to get to 100? Yes, if I keep going, but I really only want to keep doing this to a certain. I think that we'll get to a certain number where I'm just kind of like, okay, I think we're good now, right? And I think that people hit 80% of their goal, right? And so,
well, what do you mean? Okay, I think we're good now. What does I think we're good now look like?
I don't know. I think we'll just feel that.
Oh, we're gonna feel it.
I think we're gonna feel it. I mean, I did, based off of the spread on this house, I'm thinking, what if we were to get 40 houses and we had $20,000 to $30,000 coming in a month? I think at that point we're good, right? But if I can keep going, I'm not gonna just stop looking for deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be incredible to be able to get $60,000 a month coming in, $100,000 a month coming in. Now you're talking about building generational wealth that can be in knowledge that can be passed on, right? And not only this birth strategy is something that we're doing in Memphis, but you can take this same strategy.
Is this something you can like Google?
Yes. Yep. Okay. You can Google. Okay. You can go to biggerpockets.com. They have birth calculators. Mm-hmm. They can teach you about. They have birth strategies, things like that. Also, too, when I
find people who aren't but find people who like want to share the information and aren't trying to keep it to themselves. Like I think that's what I appreciate so much about Steven is he's not just like, like I figured this out, I'm gonna keep it all to myself. He's like, no, I'm willing to train and help you with this.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when one of us wins, all of us win.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, like, if you all have any questions or anything like that, like, again, y'all can put the comments down below. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram. We always put our handles down in the bottom.
The description.
The description, yeah. The description. Sorry, I don't do that part. In the description area. And if y'all have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me. I can answer any questions. Also, too, I will be launching my real estate website, and it will be called nextbesthomes.com.
Oh, you're sticking with that?
I'm sticking with that because I think it's a cool name. I really do. Nextbesthomes.com. And so I will be trying to upload videos to that, like real estate videos on buying a house. What do you need to know about selling a house? And also, too, I'll be putting stuff in there about people who are wanting to be investors, right? And that way you can kind of go to one place and just learn. But you can also go to Bigger Pockets. They have a calculator on there that you can use, so you can kind of plug in what do you think the value for the house is going to be.
Is this open now?
What you mean?
Your website? Is it?
No, my website is not open now. It'll be up and running. My goal is to have it up and running by the end of the month.
Follow him on Instagram too.
Follow me on Instagram at @TheKennethWilliams, and you'll see updates on there. And on Facebook, it is Kenneth Williams. Mm-hmm. You'll see the real estate agent with the beard. Mm-hmm. But that is, I'll keep you all updated on that.
So that's how we did it. That's how we got our first investment property. We are definitely going to get footage of the final product. We have a little bit of very shaky footage from the before. And so we would... Oh, that burp smell like bologna. Anyway.
Yeah, so...
That's how we got our first investment property. We do plan to get more. We do believe that property and in real estate is like
it has made the most millionaires.
Path to, makes the most millionaires.
Real estate industry has made the most millionaires. Again, we just really want to share this video and do this video to kind of help people build that generational wealth. We really want to do that.
The investment properties.
Yeah, that's why we want the investment properties. And teach Cairo how to do these kind of things. Teach our son Cairo and our future kids how to do these things and really manifest money on your own. One of the things is like Kev on stage, Melissa said, she wants to have enough money to be able to say no to certain things, and it does not affect her life.
She says, I want to be at a place where I can say no without consequence.
That's what we want to be.
We ain't even got enough space left on this SD card to go in today.
We'll go into that.
You want to be at a place where you can say no to things without consequence. In the next 10 years, we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm. And you got to cry about your job that you hate. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just work there and just, if you love it, you love it. If you don't, just be like, yeah.
I'm going to a new school now, so I hopefully have joy. Just disclaimer.
Oh, Lord. Hey, y'all. Continue to stay in tune with us. Continue rocking with us. Again, if you have any questions or anything like that, hit us up on our Instagram or on our Facebook. Comment down below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button so that we can get to more people that are exactly like you. Like, share, subscribe.
Thank you for walking with us.
Boom. Peace.